back with Mayor Mike White. Mayor, you were talking about going back to the future. I want to get back to that point about what we can do to facilitate. I know you've obviously done an enormous amount of stuff for education, but let's touch on that.
Well, Kate, you know, Joanne and I have a blended family. We have 4 children, 23, 29, and 6, which is a nice spread
Right.
there. And we talk so much about what we can do for children. We want to give them computers. We want to buy them the latest technology. We want to take them here. We want to take them there. What they need is not more money. What they need is our time, our caring, our love, and to always know that they can come to us no matter what. And I think that you start the process of where our children are going to be with personal caring, with love, with old-fashioned touching and feeling and concern.
Do you think that, tell me a little bit about the Neighborhoods First initiative too, because you were saying that that's also going to be a major priority for the next year. You do have 2 full calendar years until you have to run again, so
Right.
we could talk about that a little bit too.
Neighborhoods First is designed to put in place a fairly long series of programs designed to enhance the quality of life in Cleveland. We didn't do well in the 70s and 80s, not because we couldn't do well, but because we didn't put the kinds of changes and improvements in place in our neighborhoods to make us competitive. You know, we're no different than IBM or Microsoft or any private sector concern. The 500,000 people who live in Cleveland are our customers. Now, what are they buying? They're buying a bundle of public services. Police services, park services, educational services, street services, fire services, and we can do well by providing a quality of service similar to all of our suburban counterparts. For instance, we just finished spending $45 million in the area of recreation, designed to bring up our recreation centers both quantitatively and qualitatively along with our parks. When I became mayor, we had 14 EMS vehicles. Today we have 21, deployed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We've gone from a 14-minute response time to 7 minutes and 38 seconds, believe it or not, but we still need to do better. So it's designed to improve the quality of life for the citizens of our community. Now, how do we do that? Take a minute and talk about some of those initiatives. We have an initiative coming up on prostitution in Johns. We have a fair housing ordinance coming, especially designed to protect single heads of households. As you know, the Your Home program that we talked about last week. I think it's a tragedy when people begin to look at the significant number of single-family heads of households in Cleveland, overwhelmingly led by women, and how few of them ever have the opportunity to live in a home. You grew up in a home?
Yes.
I grew up in a home. We take it for granted, living in a home. But when you begin to think about a mother without a husband there or a significant other, 2 or 3 kids living in 2 bedrooms, and they do that until they graduate from high school, and you begin to think about how that experience impacts, and then we tell them, go to school every day, get a good education,
Right.
be a good little...
Be a dreamer.
Be a dreamer, be a good little Clevelander, and we didn't do anything to enhance the dream. What we're suggesting, what we're trying to gain approval by council, is to provide a $20,000 second mortgage for any single head of household who wants to buy a home. You know, instead of those children being in an apartment, instead of them being in a walk-up, you know, they're going to have a backyard, they're going to have a porch, they're going to have the opportunity to cut the grass and all those other things that come with it. But more importantly, they're going to have human space uncluttered by 100 other people. So all of these initiatives are designed to strengthen our neighborhoods. And you know, I said this in '89 when I ran for mayor, you cannot have a great town with only a great downtown. I'm proud of what we've done.
Right.
We all
No
ought to be.
question.
But if all we do is what we're doing in the downtown and we don't do the same thing in our neighborhoods, we're not going to do well. And for all that we've spent in downtown Cleveland, for every dollar that's gone into downtown Cleveland, we've spent 4 in the neighborhoods.
So it's more of an economic development, community services
Social
initiative,
development.
social development.
And also quality of life improvement. Trying to, I'll give you one other very quick example. One of the, what I call pariahs we have in the neighborhoods today are these used car lots. And these are simple things. Barbed wire, razor wire,
Right.
rusty fences, no landscaping, would never be allowed in the suburbs of Cleveland. Why should they be allowed in Cleveland? Significant traffic enforcement. As you know, we've had a debate. Is traffic enforcement about money, or is it about trying to improve the quality of life? We can tell you without fear of contradiction that our increased traffic activity over the last 8 years is one of the reasons why we have dropped crime 25% in the city of Cleveland, another 3 to 4% this year alone. Because when the bad people don't know where the police are going to be, or the speculation that they might be closer by than they normally would enforcing traffic, and that gives us an opportunity to do a lot of other things. We run our traffic in prostitution zones, we run our traffic in high crime areas, and you know, people aren't going to commit crimes when they're thinking there might be a traffic cop right around the corner. All of these things, or these things individually may not turn the tide, but when you begin to compound them over time, it'll allow us to take the next leap in our neighborhoods.
I have a lot of calls waiting, but let me ask you one more question. How are you getting better in terms of, you know, ideas? Are you evaluating benchmarks in other cities, success benchmarks in other cities? Are you reading books? How are you getting to, it seems like every year there's certainly new priorities, improvements made.
Well, I think it's first of all the above. Someone once came up to me and said, in fact, it was a cabinet member at the time, they said, you know, I really don't understand you. You know, we just came through a real good time. We had all these good things that happened, and you know, you just came into cabinet and you said these are all the things, more things you want to do.
Right.
And I said, well, yesterday is yesterday. You know, whatever we did well, we did it well yesterday. We're going to get measured by what we do today, and we can always be better. I believe that no matter what we do or how we do it, we can always be better. We can always improve upon what we have done. Cleveland is an older city, and we live in an older house. And you know, if you know anything about an older house, you never get finished. You know, the painting never stops, the plastering never stops, the grass never stops, and that's okay. I enjoy it. Cities are really like that too. As far as we have come, and I think this is one thing that we could suffer from if we aren't careful. I think there's a growing belief in Cleveland that we've made it. No, we have not made it. All we've done is earn the right to come back the next day and play with the big dog urban centers across the country and to compete with them and to provide a quality of life that people would want to move into the city of Cleveland. When we get to the point of believing we've made it, we don't have to keep charging ahead. We don't have to keep pressing for improvement. We don't have to desire to be the very best that we want to be. Then we're going to slide backwards.
Right. All right, let's go to the phones. Wendell from Warrensville Heights, go ahead. You're on Speak Out Live.
Yes, I went to Cleveland Public Schools, and I know there's a problem with them. One school that I'm very disappointed in that you guys closed was the Cleveland Aviation High School. What did you guys tend to do with that building?
Well, that building and the land on it is owned by the city of Cleveland, and a final decision has not been made in terms of what we are going to do.
Okay.
Thanks for your call, Wendell. In terms of the schools, obviously there's a lot of things that we could do, throw money at the problem, you know. How long are you going to maintain the schools as your #1 priority? I know it's probably going to be your #1 priority through your office, but what's up for the next year or 2 years with the schools?
Well, Kate, I think we stay with it until we get it moving in the right direction. As you know, I graduated from the Cleveland Public Schools. I graduated at a time when suburbanites were paying, literally paying, to have their children put in the Cleveland Public Schools.
Right.
And when you think about where we have come from that day till this day, it has to make you feel pretty bad as a person concerned about Cleveland, concerned about children, to see that we've gone from one of the best systems in America to one of the worst. What do we need most? We need patience. You can't have a 30-year free fall, hire a new chief executive officer, get a new board, take out the politics, and then think everything's going to be okay. This system did not go bad overnight. It's not going to get fixed overnight. So number one, we're going to have a lot of patience. Number two, we're going to have to understand that Barbara Byrd Bennett is not going to be able to do it by herself. Reverend Smith and the board will not be able to do it by themselves. The teachers and the principals will not be able to do it by themselves. All of us are going to have to work together to make this happen and happen over time. While I think we're making progress, it's slow slogging.
I think that one of the things that Barbara Byrd Bennett has done, though, for people that kind of are political watchers, is that she has given us a lot of hope. I think that people feel confident in her abilities, and I think that certainly that's true. It's not going to happen overnight, but her leading the charge is comforting to people.
Well, I think she does bring about confidence. Her heart's in the right place. I've indicated to people that she has the right mix of pedagogy and determination.
Right.
And street sense.
Right.
And
Little chutzpah.
A little
Yeah.
chutzpah, and she has all of that combined, and I think that'll make a big difference.
All right, we're going to go to a break. We're taking your calls, 575-0405. We're talking to Mayor Michael R. White. We'll be right back.
In America, you are not required to offer food to the hungry or shelter to the homeless. There is no ordinance forcing you to visit the lonely. In fact, nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to provide anything for anybody. Thank you for all you've given. Imagine what more could do.
Good morning, this is Cablevision. My name is Gail, and how can I help you?
Thank you for calling Cablevision. This is Joanne speaking. How can I help you?
Thank you for calling Cablevision. This is Tanya. How may I help you?
Hello, and thank you for calling Cablevision. This is Tony. How can I help you?
Cablevision's customer service. People helping people like you. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Thank you for calling Cablevision. This is Charmaine speaking. How may I help you?
All right, you're going to go wide right, you go across the middle, and you stay back and block. Got it?
Got it, got it.
Blue 22! Blue 22! Blue 22! Hut, height! Hi, I'm Scott Zarella. Join me, Patrick Pearson, and the rest of the Cablevision team each and every Friday night for the Cablevision High School Game of the Week. We've got you covered. Whoa. Nice pass.
If you're not happy with local sports talk these days, join me, Les Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Cleveland sports, for more sports in Les Levine, Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 p.m., and replays at 11 p.m. on Cablevision channels 24 and 45, and throughout the week on Fox Sports Ohio. We'll open up the phone lines. We'll talk to guests like Al Lerner, Carmen Policy, Mike Hargrove, Mike Fratello, and Wayne Embry. Monday through Friday at 6 and 11 on Cablevision channels 24 and 45 and Fox Sports Ohio.